Hi guys. I'm going to be totally honest, this is the third time I'm trying to film this video. I think when I watch YouTube videos, I just assume that people record stuff and it looks good and it sounds good and they just put it on there and then it's totally fine, and that's not how it goes and I'm stressing out. But it's going to be totally fine. It's going to be great. Okay, so this video is going to be my adoption story, and if you don't want to watch a video of me just like sitting here talking about stuff, then don't watch it. It's going to bore you to death. And it might be long, but I talk really fast and hopefully I can just like smash it in to one video. It's going to be fine. Okay, so the first time I filmed this video, you guys, I like sobbed through the whole thing. I was a total mess. I think because it was the first time I've like sat down and told the whole story beginning to end, because everybody that I talk to about it knows at least some part of the story, whether they are, you know, from my birth family and they know my birth mother, or they're, you know me here in Salt Lake and they know my parents and all that kind of stuff. So this is the first time I've actually like sat down and told my whole story and my family's story, like from beginning to end. And it's harder than you'd think because there's so much, like it's 24 years worth of information I'm trying to shove into one video. So bear with me if I ramble, and, you know, hopefully I won't cry as much this time, and it's going to be fine. It's totally great. It's going to be great. Huh, babe? It's going to be great? Great. It's going to be great. Okay, so I'm adopted. Surprise! And so I talked to my birth mom and I was like, listen, I want to share my adoption story, but a lot of it is your story and I want to be sure you're okay with that. And she said yes, and that, you know, she loves sharing it, and so she was totally fine with that. So the story starts with her. My birth mother's name is Jory. I call her Mama Joe. And she got pregnant in high school. I'm sorry, I am kicking the car seat with my foot and it's making that like dinging noise, you guys. Oh, I'm so nervous. I feel like I'm gonna throw up and cry at the same time, but in a happy way, you know what I mean? Anyway, my birth mom, she got pregnant in high school, gave birth to me at 16, and she made I don't even know how to describe the decision, heroic, amazing, challenging decision to put me up for adoption. And like grateful does not even kind of cover it, you guys. Like, I have felt my whole life, and I still feel today, that woman is my hero. And meeting her, I understand the choice she made because she's the strongest person I have ever met in my life. And so for her to be able to make that decision, like, it's just fitting with like the warrior of a woman that she is, you guys. I'm so serious. So she put me up for adoption at 16. I was born in Pennsylvania. I was adopted to Utah, where I was adopted by Paul and Irene, and I was number 6 of 8 adopted children, you guys. 8. Oh, and it's the best thing ever. Our family, however, I mean, there's so many of us, and when you have that many people from different places and different backgrounds, there's bound to be differences. But for how different we all are, when we get together, it is so much fun. We laugh and we have so much fun. We're so loud, we're so crazy, and it's a total blast. So I was adopted at 3 weeks old. And my childhood was great. We traveled and we laughed and had so much fun. We lived right down the street from my school. So I walked to school with all of my friends every day. We lived in one of those neighborhoods where like on Halloween, you couldn't drive anywhere because the streets were just like packed with kids. And it was so fun. I was really blessed. And I was always really close with my family until I became a teenager, but I think that that's normal. When I was like 11, as like an introduction to being a horrible teenager, I told my mom, you guys, this is horrible. I shouldn't tell you this, but I'm gonna anyway. I told my mom that I was like, you know what? Since you're not my real mom, I'm gonna not call you mom anymore. I'm gonna call you Auntie Irene. Isn't that sad? That's horrible. Whatever. I was a terrible person. I'm better now, I promise. But she was so sweet, you guys. She just was like, that's totally fine. You can call me whatever you're comfortable with. I love you no matter what. And so for like 3 days, I called her Auntie Irene. And then one day, I think I was like scared or sad or something, and she was comforting me, and I said, it's pretty hard to remember to call you Auntie Irene because you just feel like my mom. And so I'm just going to call you Mom. And she was like, that's okay too. And so she's been Mama ever since. And her and my dad are just rock stars, you guys. They are rock stars. I love them so very dearly. And honestly, I was a really difficult teenager. Really, really difficult. And I'm sure I was difficult to love. And my parents, however challenging I was, however different our views were, however much they disagreed with my choices, were always loving and supportive. One of my best memories of that difficult time, I moved out in high school. That's how angry I was at everybody, is that I left. And I was having a really hard time trying to finish up school. I'd ended, an ugly relationship, and I wasn't close with my family, nor I wasn't even speaking to my parents anymore, you guys. Like I said, horrible teenager. And I walked home from school one day, and on the porch, there was a bag with a note from my mom. I was staying with my friend Alana, holla girl, and on her porch, my mom had left this bag, and in this bag was a bag of like my favorite things. So anytime I lost a soccer game or didn't get a part in a play, my mom would buy me Cheeto Puffs and chocolate because they're my favorite things in the entire world. And in this bag on the porch, because I had called my mom once in a mess, and it was the only time we'd spoken in like weeks, and she knew that I was going through a hard time, and she knew that I wasn't willing to go and see them or do anything about it. So in her loving, motherly way, dang it, I promised myself I wasn't going to cry this time. I'm not going to do it. She brought over a bag of Cheeto Puffs and chocolate and a note from her that just said, I sure love you. And she just, like, my parents just always had a way of like letting me know through everything that I was always loved, no matter how horrible my choices were, no matter how angry I was at them. So yeah, I just was really lucky. I grew up really loved and surrounded with support. I grew up in the best neighborhood ever. I have the best friends, you guys. And yeah, so then I turned 18. And because I was in a closed adoption, that was the age where I could start getting information about my birth family. But like I said, I was not in a good place in my teenage years. And at 18, I was really not in a good place. Like, I was making some really terrible choices, and I was partying, and I was trying to deal with all this hurt and anger inside me. And I just knew that if I found my birth mom, she wouldn't be meeting the best version of me. And on the flip side, I knew nothing about her. So if she needed any like comfort or love and support from me, I wasn't in a place to give that to her, if that makes any sense at all. And so I didn't look when I turned 18, just because I was in such a bad place. So fast forward a few years, I married the love of my life, Tanner, and we got pregnant right away, and I call Henry our Insta baby. And he was born in July. So that following March, we'd moved into a house, and we have this beautiful, 9-month-old baby, and we were happy. And I was finally at a point where I was like, okay, my life has calmed down, and I feel good about who I am, and I'm ready to start looking for my birth mom. So I tell my parents, hey, I'm ready to start looking. I'm getting ready for that. And they were totally supportive, 150%. And so that night I laid in bed, and it was like midnight, and I Googled how to find your birth family. And like the second, guys, this is a miracle. I'm not even kidding you. Me finding my birth mom was a miracle. It was supposed to happen. And she ended up helping me through the next, 3 years. Has it been 3 years? Almost 3 years? I don't know. I can't remember. Yeah, it'll be 3 years in March. So the last 3 years, she has been such a support to me. So it was definitely supposed to happen when it happened. And so I Googled how to find your birth family, and like the second thing that popped up was this adoption registry. And at the top of the page, it's like, enter your date of birth, So I just did. I entered my date of birth. I said, enter the state you were born in. So I did. And this post came up that said, you know, I'm looking for my baby girl. She was born in 1994. And, you know, I put her up for adoption, and yeah, just if you know anything about it, here's my email address. And she sent me the email that I sent her. Actually, I have it right here. I'll read it. So in the middle of the night, I respond and I send her this email. It says, "Hey, my name is Hannah Ridding. I was born in Hanover, Pennsylvania on July 6, 1994. I was adopted through LDS Family Services. Not trying to get my hopes up, but is there a chance you're my birth mom?" That's it. That's all that I said. I was freaking out. I remember like punching Tanner, waking him up, and I was like, oh my gosh, read this. And if Tanner, when he's asleep, he cannot wake up. So he's like one eye, like trying to read her post. Can't. I text my parents and I was like, I think I found my birth mom. And her email address was like her first initial and last name. So naturally I Facebook stalked her and I found this. So I Google her first, or I Facebook stalk her first initial and her last name. And let me see if I'll post the pictures. I'll do like a little slideshow after this of the pictures that I saw of her and me. I did kind of a side by side of the two of us, but her picture popped up and we look so alike, you guys. And I knew, like, the moment I saw her, I was like, oh my gosh, this is my mom. And so I screenshot her picture and I text it to my parents and I post it. Me and my family, we have like a group me message. So I send it to like my parents and all my siblings, and just to see what they said. And I'm freaking out and I can't wait for her email. I try going to sleep and I can't. So I message her on Facebook and I add her as a friend and I'm like, hey, I think that I'm your daughter. And so the next morning she messages me back and we confirm some things and she asks if she can call me, and she does. And we were on the phone for hours, you guys. And my family starts responding to the pictures of her that I sent. And everyone's like, did you do your hair differently? That, like, your hair looks really good. And I was like, you guys, that's not me. It's my birth mom. And everyone was freaking out. And my parents were so ecstatic for me and so excited and so supportive. And I spent hours on the phone with Jory, you guys. And I knew like that day that we were going to be so close, and I just wanted to meet her. I was dying to meet her. And so my parents actually helped pay for my plane ticket, because that Thursday, me and Tanner and Henry got on a plane, like literally. So I messaged her in the middle of the night, like Sunday night to Monday morning. We talked on the phone all day Monday, and then Thursday morning we were on a plane. And I remember getting off the plane and my heart has never beat so fast in my life. I thought I was going to die. I was freaking out. And I was so excited. And there was some nerves, you guys, because I love my family here. I love them so much. All of my siblings, my parents, I love them to death. There is nothing I wouldn't do for them. I won't ever miss a birthday party or a dance recital or anything like that. Like, they're so important to me. Like, Tanner wants to move and explore and move somewhere else. I can't move away because I love my family. I feel bitter when my siblings move away. Rachel, Jordan, Angie, talking to you. Because I love them. So I was worried that I wouldn't be able to love my birth family the same way, or that I would feel like I had to choose one, or that there wouldn't just be enough love. That sounds really corny. There wouldn't be enough love to go around. So I walk out of the airplane, we walk down to the baggage claim, and I see her, you guys, and I just sprinted, and I ditched Tanner with the luggage and the baby, and I'm like telling him, like, film this, and he totally did. I'll post that recording in here too at the end. But we just held each other, and we were like loudly sobbing, you guys. It wasn't like, oh, I'm so happy. It was like, ah! And my heart was so full. And all of my worries about having two families and having two moms and all that kind of stuff melted away, because it was like a new portion of me opened up and had all this room and all of this like intense love for my birth mom. And I felt so whole, you guys, so whole. Like, there was I was so happy. And, Henry, are you okay? Okay. Tanner, can you get him a Band-Aid? Thanks. So, we walk outside and there is my little sister. So Joy has another daughter and her name is Sade. And she is my baby, you guys.
Is that you?
It's me.
What? Hey, is that you?
Yeah.
What?
Henry desperately needed a Band-Aid. Anyways, so I met Sade, and like I said, she's my baby, you guys. I love her so much. And again, it was one of those things where the moment I hugged her for the first time, I knew that we were going to be so close. And again, everything felt so complete and so whole. And my pap was there and I hugged him and we drove home and I met my Nana, who I adore. Again, I come from a line of the strongest women I have ever met in my life. And I saw I'm so grateful. I don't even know how to express it. So we stayed there for a few days and I just kept going back to visit and we talk on the phone all the time. And later this month, Jory, my birth mom, Mama Joe, is coming to Utah and I'm so excited. She's never been. This will be the first time she's come to visit out here and she's going to meet everyone and we're just going to have so much fun. And I'll try and vlog the experience while she's here. But so I met her, we're so close, and my parents have been so supportive through the entire thing. And on the flip side, Jory and I fell seamlessly into this friendship. We are better than best friends. She is we're just so close. And I remember we would go out together and have so much fun and laugh and tease each other. And I think it was confusing for other people that I didn't talk to her like she was my mom. And the reason being is that I have parents who parent me, if that makes sense. I don't even know if I'm explaining this correctly. So when I went looking for Jory, it wasn't to fill the position of a parent. I just wanted her in my life and I wanted to be close to her and I wanted to share things with her and I wanted her to know her grandchildren and I wanted to know my sister and my grandparents and I wanted to be a part of the family. And so she always understood that. She and I have never had an issue with defining our relationship or trying to figure out what this is or how to treat each other. We've just seamlessly fell into this relationship of just being so close. She's like my sister. We are so close. And of course she's my birth mother. And of course she's my hero. I have this essay that I wrote in third grade called My Hero, and it's all about her. And I still feel that way. And I look up to her and I respect her, but it's just been so amazing and beautiful that we just got along that way and we understood each other that way. And it's been so peaceful and easy and amazing. And I want to end this video with just expressing my gratitude for the institution of adoption and for what it did for me. And that's not to say that my life wouldn't have been great with Jory. I love her. Like I said, she is a warrior, but she was young and she made the right decision for her and she sacrificed for me. And I got out of that having two families who both love me. It's like that quote about adoption, product of two different kinds of love. And that's what I am. I'm the product of two different kinds of beautiful, strong, amazing love. I'm the product of two women who both fought for what it means to be a mom. And I think that definition is so broad and so beautiful, and that my birth mom made the most motherly sacrifice by giving me up for adoption. And my mom brought me into her home and never treated me like I was from anywhere else but her heart, and just loved me as her daughter. I've never been anything other than her daughter. Dang it. And I'm so grateful, you guys. And to anyone out there who's ever given a child up for adoption, like, thank you. Because even if your child doesn't understand it yet, they will. They'll understand the sacrifice that you made for them. And for all the mothers out there, however you became a mother, or whether you're not one yet, like, just know that, like, I don't even know how to explain it. My gratitude for the women in my life is monumental. It is insane. If I can be half as good to my children as my birth mom and my parents have been to me, I will have succeeded. So I'm going to wrap this up because I've been talking forever. But I'm really grateful. I'm so blessed. I absolutely love my families, both of them, so much. And I'm just so lucky, you guys. I'm so lucky. And I'm so proud. I'm proud to be adopted. I'm proud of my birth mother. I'm proud of my parents. I'm proud of my families. And yeah, that's my adoption story. Honestly, I kind of blacked out. I have no idea what I just said for the last 20 minutes, but hopefully I told the story. I'm going to put some pictures up of both of my families, of that comparison picture that I saw of my birth mom, and I'll put some pictures of my siblings and my two baby sisters so I have Lizzie in my adoptive family and Sade for my birth mom. And you guys, if I could adopt them both, I totally would. They're my babies. I love them. Like, not that I have favorite siblings, but those two are my favorite. Don't tell anyone. And so I'll put pictures of them up. And yeah, I'm just really grateful. And if you made it this far, I applaud you, because this is like an eternal video. And I'll reward you with like a slideshow of pictures and the video of me meeting my birth mom for the first time. And there's a video I flew out to surprise Sade for our birthdays are like 5 days apart. So I flew out for our birthdays last year or 2 years ago. And I surprised her, so I'll put that video in there and stuff so you can go through and watch all of those shenanigans. But thank you so much for watching, and go adoption, right? Bye, guys.